ism-based sentences is the topic we did last time. And we said in an ism-based sentence, there are three components, A, B, and C. And we said that the combination of these components could be anything. You could have multiple A's, single B, multiple C's. You could have A, B, 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 and C, 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 and so on and so forth, different types of structures. Sometimes we also said that the normal structure of an ism-based sentence is A followed by a B and then followed by a C. We said sometimes this structure is also fluctuated. Sometimes, for example, a C would come before A and then would come a B. Sometimes a B would come before an A and then C would come after it, and so on and so forth. These are abnormal structures of the sentence. Again, this is what we did last time, understanding the high level structure. Then we said that A is basically a topic. In English grammar, it's referred as subject. B is information about the topic. Information about the topic. And we said C is additional
Auxiliary information.
information, yeah, auxiliary information. Auxiliary information, and it's usually about the information, basically. Right? It's information about B. Right? So these are three things we did. So I hope this was clear. It was not too challenging, and we did some examples in English. Today, we actually will go ahead and see what is A, what is B, and what is C, and hopefully, time permitting, we will see in Arabic examples as well. Right? So I will draw a table here, and I want full attention from you guys because this is super, super critical. Okay, so this is A, this is B, and this is C. We said A is a topic or a subject. B is information about A, and C is information about B, right? Additional information about B. That's what it is. Now, what can be A? In the previous class, we also touched upon this. We said there are few things that can be A. That indicates where the is sits. That was another topic we did, just a reminder. So we did the topic of invisible is, not invisible is, because we said that in Arabic language, the is not a word and we have to find it. And we discussed few things that where an is would be sitting normally, how to decode it. And those few things were pronouns, independent pronouns. After independent pronouns, we said there usually is. We said after pointers, there is. We said after harf of nasab, there is. And we said proper followed by common ism. If there is a proper ism followed by a common ism, then there is a is in the middle. And then we said break in the chain. If there is a disconnect between the words, then there is a potential is. These are few things we did in the last class. Okay. Now, what is A? A is a word before is. Okay. A is a word that comes before is. So what type of word could it be? It could be a pointer. It could be independent pronoun. It could be a harf of nasab, right? It could equally be a proper ism that is followed by common. Proper followed by common. Proper ism followed by common. Right? And of course, the break in the chain. So when the break in the chain is the first word and the second word, the first word is the word before is, then it's also A. So all of these are indicators. They are indicators of what is an A. Okay? You have to clearly understand this. Okay. We'll do some examples. And I'm going to give you some terminology for you to start getting used to it. So A in Arabic uh, is called a mubtada. Mubtada. A in Arabic is called a mubtada. You might have heard the word ibtada in Urdu. Right? Ibtada means starting, right? Mubtada is someone that starts, something that starts it. So because it's the starting of the sentence, that is why it's called a mubtada. Okay. We will label it as a in our analysis, or sometimes it's also labeled in many places as M. Okay. So one and the same thing, whatever you find convenient. Okay. So mubtada is a word that is before the is, and it's the starter of the sentence. And this is mandatory. Every ism-based sentence must have a mubtada. Okay? Must have an A, as we studied previously. Let's come to B. Now, what is B? B is, of course, it's an information about A. So it's an ism in Rafa. It's an ism in Rafa status. Okay? And only in special cases, it can be an ism in nasab. Only in special cases, it can be an ism in nasab. We are not going to cover this yet. Okay? So isko sirf apne head mein rakh lein, but don't go deeper into this point yet because it will confuse you. Just stay so far that ism in Rafa is a B. It's information about A. Right? This thing in Arabic is called a Khabr, which you know as a news in Urdu, right? Khabr. Khabr is information. Okay? Many times it's denoted by K. Khabr. Okay. Before I move to C, let's try to construct some examples. So I'll merge these two together and let's construct these examples here. Huwa Muslimun. Huwa Muslimun. What is Mubtada? Huwa is Mubtada. Because huwa is an independent pronoun, and we know after an independent pronoun there is an is. So I'm going to label huwa as a mubtada. Okay, so this is mubtada. Red is mubtada, and let's say khabar is the yellow one. Okay, I have identified after huwa there is an invisible is because I know after independent pronoun there is an invisible is, right? And then there is an ism in Rafa. The first ism in Rafa after Mubtada is my khabar. Is my khabar. Okay, this is a K. He is a Muslim. He is a Muslim. Everyone is able to see the Mubtada and khabar in the Arabic sentence. Is that much clear? Any confusions?
Clear.
Excellent. Let's do another example.
Just a quick question.
Ji,
When you say
ji,
ism in Rafa, Rafa
ji.
normally mean marfu, someone who's doing the action.
Ji,
right?
good point.
Ism,
I'll clear. Ji, बिल्कुल.
okay. Ji, continue.
Complete your question. I just want to hear your question, please.
जी, so हुआ मुस्लिम, इसका मतलब है कि अभी हमने सी पे नहीं गए, इसलिए इसका वो जो रफा स्टेटस है वो क्लियर नहीं है, करेक्ट? मुस्लिम का
No, it is clear. It's Muslimun. It's Muslimun, Musliman, Muslimin, right? So
अच्छा,
Muslim
this
chart.
from the Muslim chart, okay.
Yes. So another thing that confuses students a lot in the beginning phases, and let's make it very clear. What you have learned so far, that ism in Rafa is a doer, right? This is what you have learned. But now you are learning that ism in Rafa is also a Mubtada and a Khabr, right? So doer was one concept, right? Being a Mubtada is also a requirement for an ism to be in Rafa. So if an ism is in Rafa, then you are asking yourself, is it a doer? Is it a Mubtada? Is it a Khabr? It can be three things. Okay? So now you're graduating from that doer definition. A doer definition will come back again when we do the fails. Okay? That was just a basic definition to get you started with the Rafa. Now the Rafa is going to expand its wings and will show you a little bit more what it can do. Okay, so now when you're looking at an ism in a Rafa status, you're not concluding immediately it as a doer. You are thinking about it. You're saying, is it a doer? Is it a mubtada? Or is it a khabar? That is the next level of advancement that you are looking into. Is that much clear? Good. So let me move all of that to the next page. This study of ism structures, sentence structure, is a very, very interesting study. It will open up so much insight for you. But to build this skill and this foundation, it's very important that you understand things very, very clearly, right? I will write it here. For example, now Rafa can be Mubtada. Okay. Now Rafa can be Khabr. Okay. Just so we are super clear. So Rafa is three things: doer, Mubtada, Khabar. Okay. Now we have to understand how to decode what is Rafa. Okay. Okay.
Fahad,
Let's.
just a quick
Ji.
question. जो ये first वाला column है topic or subject, it is not necessary that it should be in Rafa state, right?
Yes, only harf of nasab. Harf of nasab. If you see harf of nasab, what is the default status of pointer? Rafa. Independent pronoun,
Rafa,
pointer. Proper ism, default status, pointer.
Rafa.
Rafa. Right? Break in the chain will do, inshallah, some examples.
अच्छा.
Okay.
हर्फ ऑफ नसब जो है वो क्योंकि हाँ हर्फ की कोई फॉर्म नहीं होती ना वो मेड द नेक्स्ट इसम.
हाँ. So harf of nasab का trick ये है कि when you see a harf of nasab, it's 1,000,000% mubtada. As soon as you spot a harf of nasab, it's a mubtada. Okay.
Okay. Right. हाँ ठीक है.
Right. Okay. So let's do another example. Haza Muslimun. What is mubtada and what is khabar, guys? What is mubtada?
Haza is mubtada.
Haza is mubtada, and the
Muslimu is
has to be
khabar.
Muslimun. Muslimun is khabar. Okay, and who can translate this for me?
This Muslim.
This is a Muslim.
This is Muslim.
This is a Muslim. Why not this Muslim?
Because it's not fragment.
Because it's not a fragment.
But
right? It's not
आ
hard.
क्यों लगा है वो फहद? आ क्यों
Hmm?
लगा है this? आ क्यों लगा है? आ Muslim?
Because of
Because
the Muslim
because it's
singular.
common.
Common है.
Because it's
अच्छा अच्छा
common,
okay.
right?
Right.
This
हाँ
is a Muslim, right?
ये जो आ है ये सिंगुलर को भी कर रहा है ना, और as well as common, क्योंकि अगर ये
Yes, yes.
yes.
okay,
Usually
good.
there is another trick. Tanween is a sign, unless it's a broken plural, of course. Tanween is usually representing a common and a singular ism.
Hmm.
Okay? Unless it's a broken plural. That's a special case. Okay? Now, let's do another one. Al-baytu. Al-baytu jamilun. Jamil means beautiful. Okay? Tell me what is Mubtada
Al-baytu.
Al-baytu
and why?
started with the proper, followed with common.
Correct. It's a proper ism
Followed
and
by
it's
common.
followed by a common ism. Right? There is an invisible is in the middle. Al-baytu jamilun. How do I translate this?
House is
The,
beautiful.
the house of Jamil.
A house or the house?
The house.
The house.
The house. Jamil means beautiful, Tala. Jamilun.
Okay. Sorry.
The
The
house
house of
is beautiful. See, thinking in Urdu.
यार वही है ना, मैंने 3 लिखा था, मैंने कहा ये 3 है.
कुम्मी याद करा दी तलावा याद. अभी तो शुक्र है वो कहना क्या चाह रहा, वो जमीला कहना चाह रहे थे, बस वो पर्दे में जमील जमील कर रहा
सर स्पॉट ऑन. असल में हम जमीला से बाहर ही नहीं निकले.
Is that much clear, guys?
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
The house is beautiful. Okay.
Okay. Now, Inna Allah Azizun. फिर ऐसे हाँ यही कर लेते हैं अजीजुन. अल्लाह अजीजुन. गफूरुन. Okay. Inna Allah Azizun Ghafurun. Okay. Now, what is Mubtada?
Inna Allah.
Inna Allah. As soon as you spot harf of nasab, you're looking at a Mubtada. You're looking at Mubtada as soon as you spot it. Yeah, selection.
मेरे साथ भी यही मसला होता है. Select ही नहीं
Yeah,
होता.
word is horrible when you type Arabic, and this is the best tool in the market to type Arabic right now. Now, what is Khabr?
Azizun Ghafurun.
Azizun Ghafurun are Khabars. Okay. Now, you need to understand one thing. When the names of Allah are used in a sentence like this, they are not labeled Mawsuf Sifa. Okay. So they are matching in 4 properties, all of us know, and they look like Mawsuf Sifa, but they are not labeled Mawsuf Sifa. Okay, because Ghafoor is a sifa itself, it's a characteristic of Allah, and Aziz is also a characteristic of Allah. So you cannot make one characteristic Mawsuf and the other characteristic of it, it's sifa, right? So they both represent the word Allah, but they are not in Mawsuf sifa relationship, they're in a Mubtada and Khabar relationship. You understand?
Fahd, यहाँ पे question, why not Allah is Mawsuf and then Sifa is Aziz and Ghafur?
Because then you make it a fragment, it's no longer a sentence.
और वो प्रॉपर्टीज भी नहीं मैच करेंगी.
अच्छा.
Right? Agar if I
Good
make
point.
it Al Azizu Al Ghafuru, Inna Allah Al Azizu Al Ghafuru, then it's all big one fragment. Right? So what you're saying is basically Azizu is Khabar number 1 and Ghafuru is Khabar number 2. There are 2 Khabars
फहद,
in this case.
सोएब ने भी एक अच्छा पॉइंट रेज किया कि प्रॉपर्टीज भी मैच नहीं करी, तो जब प्रॉपर्टीज मैच नहीं करी तो इट कैन नॉट बी मौसूफ सिफा, राइट?
Yes. Absolutely. And you have to think little bit more than that now. Properties match nahi kar rahi Allah, the word Allah ke saath. But Azizun and Ghafurun do match in properties, right? So don't put them as sifa together because they are khabars.
लेकिन आप जिस तरह आपने भी बताया कि अजीज और गफूर दोनों के दोनों सिफा हैं, जब मौसूफ ही नहीं है तो फिर मौसूफ सिफा फ्रेगमेंट भी नहीं ना बन सकता.
But sifas sentence में use हो सकती हैं. Sifas are not only used in a fragment. Sifa can be used in a sentence. Let's translate this. इससे clear हो जाएगा. Certainly, Allah is the let me translate it as Almighty, all forgiving. Okay. Now, where does the "the" come from? It's because it's the name of Allah. Okay, the Almighty, the all forgiving. Because these are two names of Allah, then they have to be translated as definite, reflecting Allah's characteristic. Right? If it is used for an individual, then you can of course translate it differently. Whenever they're used with the word Allah in a sentence, they are khabars and they're translated like this. Okay? Is that much clear?
थोड़ा सा यूं कंफ्यूजिंग हो रहा है कि अगर सेंटेंस बनता है
I'll explain that. Inna Allah is clear, Mubtada, right? Now what we learned is if you have two isms matching in four properties, they're mawsuf sifa. Okay, so first of all, the word Azizun is not matching in four properties with the word Allah, right? So it cannot be labeled as sifa of the word Allah. Okay, and so is Ghafur cannot be labeled as sifa of the word Allah. We also learned that when you have harf of nasab, there is an invisible is in the middle, and harf of nasab is a mubtada. So we also know it's a sentence, right? So if you translate it as certainly Allah is, now tell me, how would you define Azizun Ghafurun as two sifas of the word Allah is? Because in a fragment scenario, it should be translated like this. Certainly, the Almighty, the all forgiving Allah. That's a mawsuf sifa scenario. Okay. This would be in Arabic something like this. In Allah, in Allah al-Azizu al-Azizu al-Ghafur. Right? Inna Allah harf of nasab. The word Allah and al-Azizu match in four properties. The word Allah and al-Ghafuru match in four properties. So there are two properties together. All of that is going to be one big fat fragment. Right? So you would do certainly the Almighty, the all forgiving Allah is. All of this is going to become a mawsuf because it's changed together, chained together. You see that? But in the case above, Azizun and Ghafurun are not matching directly the four properties of the word Allah. It means Allah's intention is not to give you them as a sifa of the word Allah, but rather more information about the word about Allah Himself. Right? Allah is giving you more information about Him. That certainly Allah is the Almighty and Allah is the all forgiving. In this case, Allah is showing these words as the sifa of Himself. You see the difference?
Like यानी जो आप ये सेकंड वाला है इन अल्लाह अल अजीजुल अल गफूर,
जी,
इसको हम सेंटेंस नहीं लेंगे. यानी सेंटेंस और फ्रेगमेंट में फर्क होगा, क्योंकि मेरे हिसाब से तो ये भी एक सेंटेंस भी बन सकता है जिसमें आप अजीज और गफूर को वो खबर और उसके तौर पे ले लो, यूं नहीं
अच्छा,
होगा।
चलो, tell me one thing. You read this, certainly the Almighty, the All Forgiving Allah. Is it giving you full information?
अच्छा, जरूरी नहीं है, नहीं हर्फ ऑफ नसब हो तो इज भी लगे साथ।
Fragment cannot be a sentence,
ठीक है।
right? Fragment never gives you full information. It's part of a sentence. Now, is इसके आगे मैं लगाऊं अगर अला कुल्ली शाइन कदीर, then certainly Almighty, All Forgiving Allah has power over everything. Then it's a full information, right? But only this part is one big fat fragment. It does not give me full information. It's actually, मैं आपके पास आऊं और मैं एकदम से आपसे कहूं, certainly the Almighty, the All Forgiving Allah, and then I pause. You know what I'm going to talk about, but you don't have the complete information. What do you have? You have a topic. You have found an A, right? The Mubtada. But you do not know the Khabr.
क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर इस तरह से हम यूज करें इसको फ्रेगमेंट के तौर पे, तो हम उसमें इज क्यों नहीं लगा सकते?
Because it's a fragment. Is construction comes in a sentence.
ठीक,
Right? So when you build sentences, then is comes. In the fragment, you cannot have a, I mean, how would you put is here, for example?
certainly Allah is
House
the
of
Almighty.
Allah. Indeed, we, whatever. This boy, how would you put is? You will always put is after, isn't it? Indeed, we are. The house of Allah is. Right? And you would put is when you want to give some additional information. And that is the sentence construction. What you did so far with these things, just the parts of the sentence.
लेकिन मैं इस तरह कह रहा था ना कि जैसा अभी इन अल्लाह, अब यहाँ पे पहला जो है हमारा एक फ्रेगमेंट बन रहा है, हर्फ ऑफ नसब फ्रेगमेंट, और फिर अल्लाह अल अजीजुल अल गफूर, ये हमारा सेकंड फ्रेगमेंट बन रहा है मौसूफ सिफा।
चलो, let's do four properties of
नहीं, सेकंड वाले में
second one. जी बिल्कुल।
तो ये दो फ्रेगमेंट्स, जब एक फ्रेगमेंट नहीं है, यानी दो फ्रेगमेंट्स हैं यहाँ पे।
Of course, Inna Allah is one fragment and Allahul Azizul Ghafuru is second fragment.
हाँ, तो ये ब्रेक ऑफ चेन के तौर पे नहीं यूज होगा यानी।
Where is the break? Is there a break between Inna and Allah?
अच्छा, ब्रेक यानी बीच में फिर कोई और चीज है, ठीक है।
There is no break between Inna and Allah. There is no break between Allah and Al-Azizu and Allah and Al-Ghafuru, right? It's all chained together.
मैं ब्रेक ऑफ चेन ये समझ रहा था शायद कि अगर मतलब दो फ्रेगमेंट्स डिफरेंट आ जाएं तो फिर वो ब्रेक ऑफ चेन हो जाएगी शायद।
जी ऐसा ही होगा जब दो डिफरेंट फ्रेगमेंट्स आएंगे। We have not reached that point yet. वो एग्जांपल्स आनी है अभी, ठीक है।
शोएब, तुम दो फ्रेगमेंट कौन से बना रहे थे? एक तो हो गया हाउस ऑफ नसब,
एक तो हो गया हर्फ ऑफ नसब, हाँ, इन अल्लाह, और दूसरा हो गया मौसूफ सिफा अल्लाह अल अजीजु अल गफूर।
अच्छा, ओके, सही।
Is this point clear? These are two khabars, not the sifas. Is this point clear to everyone? It's important. It is not sifa because of few reasons. One, because Inna Allah is a beginning of a sentence. As soon as you have a beginning of a sentence, you get yourself out of the fragment space. Okay? And now this Inna Allah could be very extensive. I mean, just like the one we have written below. Inna Allah al-Azizul Ghafuru. And as far as you have a chain, you keep on going until that chain ends. And then you will put an is. Okay? Because you will put all of this in a harf of nasab bucket. All of this. Okay? Because it started with a harf of nasab. And because
सॉरी, एक अब मुझे थोड़ा क्लियर हो गया, क्योंकि इन अल्लाह आपस में एक वो था, चेन थी, और वर्ड अल्लाह जो है वो फिर अगलों से कनेक्ट हो गया है, बीच में ब्रेकिंग है, लेकिन अब उसके बाद कोई नया फ्रेगमेंट स्टार्ट हो जाता है तो वो हमारी ब्रेक ऑफ होगी, ब्रेक ऑफ चेन। अगर वर्ड पिछला वर्ड अगले से कनेक्टेड है तब तक वो हमारी चेन जो है वो कंटिन्यू रहेगी।
फॉर एग्जाम्पल अलीमुन, नहीं गलत एग्जाम्पल ले ली, फिर आप कंफ्यूज हो जाएंगे। अल्लाह कुल्ली शैइन, where was it, शैइन कदीर। अच्छा जी, ठीक है। Let's look at this. Inna Allah connected. Agreed? Allah al Aziz, यार किसी ने मेरी गलती स्पॉट नहीं की। अजीजा अल गफूरा, right? Inna Allah al Aziz al Ghafura, right? Inna Allah connected. Al Aziza and the word Allah connected as a Mawsuf Sifa. Al Ghafura, the word Allah connected as Mawsuf Sifa. Is that much clear? Agree करते हैं हम लोग? Now, is there a connection between Al Ghafur and Allah?
नहीं।
No.
No.
So there is a break in the chain. So, and all of this started with inna is going to fall into a harf of nasab bracket. It's a one big fragment that is composed of two fragments. Harf of nasab started it, and then Mawsuf Sifa ended it. But because the harf of nasab started it, we're going to put it in a harf of nasab bucket. And we know after harf of nasab, there is an is, so we label harf of nasab as a mubtada.
और
Right?
इसको हम, या फिर हम इसको ये भी कह सकते हैं कि ब्रेकिंग चेन क्योंकि हमारी इसके बाद आ रही है तो इसलिए पूरा का पूरा हमारा मुब्तदा होगा।
जी जी, of course. And after that, of course, there are
इसके बाद इज
two
होगा
ways you
फिर।
can define it. Because it's a harf of nasab, it's a mubtada, or because there is a break in the chain, it's a mubtada.
It's
Right?
मुब्तदा।
I'm not suggesting break in the chain always, because for things which are obvious, like pointers and all of that, harf of nasab, you should always label them through that reasoning. Otherwise, हर चीज break in the chain नजर आएगी आपको आगे जाके। ठीक है? When you see a break in the chain, usually the first one is the one after which you put an is. Otherwise, you will keep on putting is everywhere. Okay? So after that, you have ala kulli. Ala kulli. This is jar majroor. Right? Kulli shay'in is idafa. All of this is connected. Ala kulli shay'in is connected. What are we going to
But
label it? I have not told you yet. Right? So this
but
is
Allah is a harf of jar,
harf of jar. Correct.
right?
So, correct. Allah kulli shay'in is one bucket. There is no connection between shay'in and qadirun, right? It's another break in the chain. But you are not going to put an is here because you've already found a mubtada here. And first break in the chain. So you put is on the first break in the chain. This is going, because this is rafa, this is going to be the khabr. You do not know yet what is ala kulli shay'in. I have to teach you that. Okay? Is that much clear?
तो फहद भाई, ये चीज क्लियर हो गई। तो आपका जो फर्स्ट ओरिजिनल सेंटेंस था इन अल्लाह अजीजुल गफूरुन, हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि इन अल्लाह के बाद ब्रेक ऑफ चेन है, क्योंकि अजीजुन इज नॉट मेकिंग एनी सेंस विद इन अल्लाह, मतलब एकदम से स्टेटस और ये सब चीजें चेंज हो रही है विदाउट एनी रीजन।
आप कह सकते हैं, लेकिन आप मुझे खुद ही बताएं, जब आपको पता है कि हर्फ ऑफ नसब के बाद इज होता है, हर्फ ऑफ नसब इज मुक्तदा,
जी,
एंड which one is clearer? Is break of chain clearer or is harf of nasab clear?
हर्फ ऑफ नसब, हर्फ ऑफ नसब।
So you would label it which is more obvious,
ठीक,
right?
सही।
इस तरह तो यहाँ पे भी break in the chain है, इस तरह यहाँ पे भी break in the chain है,
जैसे
यहाँ पे
आपने
भी
कहा
break
हर
in the
चीज में
chain है,
ब्रेक ऑफ चेन नजर
right?
आएगा। ठीक है,
So हर
समझ
जगह
गए।
आपको break in the chain नजर आएगा। जहाँ पे obvious पता है आपको, label that is your reasoning. Break in the chain comes when all of the above reasonings expire. You don't have any of those reasonings applicable, then you look for the break in the chain. Okay?
तो ठीक है फहद भाई, क्या हम अभी इस लेवल पे हैं कि आप हमें ये बता सकें कि ये इन्नल्लाह अजीजुन गफूरुन, तो यहाँ पे अजीजुन और गफूरुन को सिफा के तौर पे क्यों नहीं यूज किया गया? क्योंकि पॉइंट तो वही आ रहा है कि बेशक अल्लाह अजीज है और गफूर है। तो
नहीं,
हम
ये इतनी देर से शब्द यही हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं। देखें, ये वाला पॉइंट जो है, नीचे वाला जो सेंटेंस है, दिस इज वेयर दे आर यूज्ड एज सिफा,
जी
right?
सही
This
जी
is what it translates to.
ठीक है
Certainly the almighty, the all forgiving Allah, right? Does that give you full
गॉट इट
information?
समझ
No,
गया ठीक है
right?
ओके ठीक है
So
थैंक यू।
when Allah wants to define his characteristics, he would use a mawsuf sifa relationship. When Allah wants to give you information about him in a full sentence, a complete information, he would make them the khabars. When Allah is starting a topic, he would use them as sifas. When Allah is when Allah is starting a topic, he would not use them as sifas. When Allah is just giving you his characteristics and sifas, he will use them in a mawsuf sifa relationship. In this case, inna Allah al aziz al ghafura is just a topic. In the
समझ
previous
गया
case, this is just the inna Allah is the topic and the other ones are additional informations about the topic.
अगर उर्दू में इसकी एक मिसाल मेरे जहन में आ रही है, आप प्लीज कंफर्म करें कि मेरी समझ सही है कि नहीं। मिसाल जो है आपको पसंद नहीं आएगी, लेकिन मेरा भाई फौजी है, ये एक इंफॉर्मेशन है, लेकिन मेरा भाई बहादुर फौजी है, तो ये एक उसकी सिफा, भाई की सिफा जो है वो बहादुर है। एम आई राइट इन सेइंग दैट फौजी कांट बी टेकन एज अ सिफा?
मेरा भाई फौजी है,
और मेरा भाई बहादुर
मेरा
फौजी है।
फौजी भाई, क्या फर्क है?
वो सी हो जाएगा मेरे ख्याल से, उसमें आप एडिशनल इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हैं कि वो फौजी किस तरह है।
जी, ये इन दो जुमलों में फर्क समझ आ रहा है। मेरा भाई फौजी है, ठीक है,
इसे
मेरा भाई
फ्रैगमेंट ऑफ
फौजी है
सेंटेंस
इज फुल इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट योर ब्रदर,
ठीक है।
राइट? मेरा फौजी भाई, ओके, देन व्हाट?
हाँ जी ठीक है
It's a
ठीक है
topic,
या
right?
जी
So this second one is a mawsuf sifa, the first one is not.
या
इसकी एक एग्जांपल मेरे जहन में जो आ रही है वो यूं है, जैसा कोई गाड़ी, अब हम कहते हैं रेड कार, अब वो गाड़ी की करेक्टरिस्टिक तो डिफाइन कर रही है कि रेड कार है, लेकिन हमें मजीद इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं पता। लेकिन अगर हम यूं कहते हैं कि कार इज रेड, तो हमें एक पूरा फैक्ट मिल रहा है गाड़ी के बारे में।
जी जी,
ये एग्जांपल ये होगी कि पहले में अल्लाह बता रहा है कि सर्टेनली अल्लाह इज ऑलमाइटी एंड ऑल फॉरगिविंग, फैक्ट है कि इंफॉर्मेशन है अल्लाह के बारे में। और जो दूसरा सेंटेंस है उसमें सिंपल एक वो था कि अल्लाह का नाम, वर्ड अल्लाह है, वही यूज हो रहा है और उसी के आगे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स अभी चल रही है।
जी,
कोई इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं मिल रही कि आगे क्या होगा या क्या।
जी, because fragments do not give you full information,
ठीक है,
right?
सही।
It's a similar example जो आप कह रहे हैं, the house is big, the big house, right? So the second one is incomplete information,
ठीक है,
topic incomplete.
वैसे बाद में बता दूं मेरा भाई फौजी नहीं है, वरना आप काम का मुझे बैड बुक्स में ले आएंगे।
Sir, this is on record now. आपकी एग्जांपल आज
सर आपको यही मिसाल क्यों मिली? सर आपको यही मिसाल क्यों मिली? क्वेश्चन ये।
सर डॉक्टर कहता है तो फिर वो ज्यादा झूठ हो जाता है ना, डॉक्टर पे मेहनत करनी पड़ती है, फौजी तो कोई भी बन जाता है।
चले, क्लियर गाइस यहाँ तक? So we didn't reach the break in the chain example, but as far as this is clear, I think we're good. Is this clear?
जी
अच्छा, अब क्योंकि we are running out of time, I don't know if you can stay, but if you cannot, what I suggest is each one of you, please, आपने कुरान में से ना इसके pointer, independent pronoun, harf of nasab, proper followed by common. Please try to hunt for 2 examples each. 2 examples each for a sentence. जहाँ पे pointer use हुआ हो, pronoun use हुआ हो, harf of nasab हो, proper followed by common हो, और यहाँ तक बस. Try to hunt for it, look for it in the Quran. When you will look for it, It will make things clear to you. It's a very passive way of practicing. It will help you make these concepts stronger in your mind, इंशाल्लाह. और फिर नेक्स्ट क्लास में मैं आपको मजीद आगे बताऊंगा चीजें. कर सकते हैं इतना? Is it too much?
इंशाल्लाह.
अच्छा, ये टेस्ट में ये तो नहीं आएगा ना?
अब उस पे मैं आता हूँ. अब आपने हाथ पकड़ा है तो मैं बाजू पकड़ूंगा. आप लोगों ने मुझे भेजना है ग्रुप के ऊपर जो आप फाइंड करेंगे. ठीक है? प्लीज उसका स्क्रीनशॉट, whatever you find that you believe falls into these categories, please share on the group. I want to see, and I want everyone else to see as well, because if there is a mistake or correctness there, everyone should know. So we need to make sure everyone understands the same thing. ठीक है? So
फहद भाई एक दफा प्लीज दोबारा ब्रीफ कर दें what exactly we are looking for.
I'm looking for, I want you to go in, open up the Quran, whichever form, digital or physical, find mubtadas, pointer mubtadas, find the independent pronoun mubtadas, harf of nasab mubtadas, proper followed by common mubtada. These structures I want you to find. Okay, independent pronoun followed by a rafa. Independent pointer followed by a rafa. Proper ism followed by a common ism. Inna Allah or inna harf of nasab followed by some rafa. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Find these things, 2 each in the Quran, share it on the group, and we'll have a exchange on that, inshallah. Okay, because this is, spend time on this skill. Once you build this skill and start to see this in the Quran, things will become much easier, much easier for you. Can we do this?
इंशाल्लाह, बिल्कुल सर.
Yes, इंशाल्लाह.
चले, वो मेरे यूनिवर्सिटी, मैं पहले रिकॉर्डिंग बंद कर देता हूँ, फिर ये सवाल कर लेता हूँ. मेरे यूनिवर्सिटी के टीचर होते थे, चला, वो कहते थे कि इंशाल्लाह तो ठीक है, तुम्हारा क्या इरादा है?
अल्लाह तो चाहेगा.
यार असल में ना मैं भी पहले इंशाल्लाह कम ही यूज करता था, बट जब से ये मैंने वो सूरह काफ के अंदर पढ़ी है ना, और वो जब नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम इंशाल्लाह नहीं कहा और चीज भूल गए, तब से मेरे अंदर ना ये कोशिश है कि मैं कहता जरूर हूँ. आगे अल्लाह मियां खुद करा दे.
अच्छा, वो भी अल्लाह भी हमें
समझे? तो भाई वो भी चीज पूरी हो जाए.
लेकिन
वो भी चीज,
भाई ये तो हकीकत है ना, अल्लाह से ही तो आप मांग सकते हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह सही है सर.
यार अच्छा फादर, अब थोड़ा बहुत मौलियों वाला तो रूप आएगा ही ना मेरे. अच्छा गुड यार. फाद अगर 2 मिनट है तो जरा रुकना कॉल के अंदर. मैंने एक चीज क्लैरिफाई करनी है. मैं जरा एक काम के लिए निकला था तो साथ में से एक डिटेल मिस हो गई. आई डोंट नो, वो क्लास के लिए शायद वो ऑलरेडी समझ चुके हैं तो रिपीट हो, पर इसी लेक्चर में मैंने एक चीज कंफर्म करनी है बस.
राइट, ठीक है. शम्स भाई, टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, यार हमने डिसाइड तो ये किया था कि जो भी पढ़ेंगे 1 वीक बिफोर तक वो आएगा टेस्ट में. तो हम, आई मीन आई विल सी हाउ वेल यू आर डूइंग.
आपने आज मेरा मासूम चेहरा देख तो लिया है फहद भाई, थोड़ा सा रहम कर दे.
यार आपका भाई फौज में ना, इसलिए रहम करना मुश्किल.
नहीं सर, मैंने इसीलिए क्लियर किया. नहीं है सर, नहीं है, नौकरी पेशा आदमी है सर.
आपकी मिसाल आपको लेट
मैं साके भाई थोड़ी हूँ जिसका भाई फौज में भी और रेंजर्स में भी.
आपने मिसाल ऐसी मारी है शम्स भाई.
शम्स भाई उस्ताद
to handle it with you.
अरे वकास भाई से तो मैं बात ही करनी मैंने. चले सर, ओके सर, बहुत शुक्रिया.
बहुत शुक्रिया, थैंक यू वेरी मच. अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
फाद 1 मिनट बस रुकना प्लीज.
जी, आई एम स्टेइंग.